Hi everybody, Craig here. Welcome to episode 2 of my 3 vs 5 Age of Wonders 3 playthrough series. In this series, myself and 2 AI teammates set to Lord difficulty are up against a team of 5 AI set to Emperor difficulty. In this series, I'm playing as the Frostling Theocrat, Falsor Frostscroll. In our last episode, we established ourselves here, and you can see that since we're playing on a continent's map type, it's really created quite an interesting setup as we've got quite a bit of water. And here we are on sort of I guess a bit of a peninsula, really. We've done a reasonable job here of scouting our location. You can see that our throne city that we started off with here, the city of Halls, is kind of bordered by these jutting rocks here that are going to really prevent me from easily moving out from the throne city into the water in this direction. So I'm going to have to contend with that. And of course, we've made contact with the nearby city that we're attempting to vassalize. And we're going to just continue to keep things rolling this episode. Now, before I dive in, I did just want to give a couple of quick shout-outs to a few individuals who left some fantastic comments on the previous episode. The first of those comments is from Gladden. Now, Gladden is one of the individuals who's behind a number of the mods that I currently have installed. And Gladden mentioned that the Lizardmen, which is one of my opponents, is actually a Lizardman, which is a new race that's been added by I believe, the Wasteland mod expansion pack. And Gladden is pointing out that Lizardmen are newly playable. They were just added very recently as part of the mod, and that they're still being updated, but that lore-wise, they are the enemy of Frostlings, so it absolutely sort of makes sense from a lore perspective to have me select one of them to be my opponent. So I appreciate Gladden chipping in on that, and again, all the hard work involved that goes into these mods. I really I can't thank you enough. So for you and everybody else involved in the modding community, as always, tremendously appreciated. The next comment here is from Nolan Cook. Nolan mentioned that terraforming is going to be important for me. And the reason for that is because if we look around here, you can see that we actually don't have any tundra. And if we look at Frostlings here, let's just take a look. Let's see. Yeah, here. So we like fertile plains, but we dislike blighted and subterranean. We hate tropical, volcanic, and shadow realm. So now, I guess the good news is, thankfully, we do have fertile plains, but terraforming is going to be very important as we move kind of out, especially when we move into other areas. Like, for example, I would love to build a city right here. In fact, that would be sort of one of my upcoming goals, and I'll touch on that in a bit here. But we're going to need terraforming to make this really possible because we've got all this volcanic terrain around here. So I think that's a really good point, that terraforming is going to become very important for me very quickly. Maybe more so than in certain other playthroughs. Nolan also mentioned that I should probably consider scouting the Shadow Realm. And I was definitely planning to do that with my Cherub that's up here. My plan was to grab the refugee camp and then head into the Shadow Gate. And there's a few reasons it'll be good to go into the Shadow Realm. One is to basically, improve my odds of, finding additional cities to try to make vassals of. Another would be to see if maybe there's a way I can, establish myself in the Shadow Realm, get a bit of a foothold. There's also opportunities to find gold and everything else. So it'll be really good to get in there and see if I can find anything kind of worthwhile. The next comment's here from Death. Death pointed out that in terms of build order, I had asked last time what you guys thought in regards to what I should build next, and you guys absolutely came through on that, so thank you very much. Death suggested that probably a storehouse would be a good option, as well as maybe a shrine after that. The storehouse is, again, going to just help my city grow that much faster. We're already at 52 production, so, as I had kind of hemmed and hawed over last episode, getting the Siege Workshop and having that additional 10 is probably not that important at the moment, but increasing the growth rate of my city and also maybe getting that extra mana income, because I am going to start running low on mana very shortly, would probably be worth it. So big thank you to Death for that one. I think that's a great idea. Death also mentioned that getting a builder or a settler or both out soon would be a good idea. And I'm definitely going to try to do that, especially because I think down here, once I'm able to clear out all these structures, this would be a prime spot for a city. I had originally thought about maybe building a city up here, now that I've cleared all these structures out, but the only issue with that is that I'm eventually probably going to have control of this city, either as a vassal or maybe as a full-fledged city. And so when this city expands, it will encompass these structures very shortly. And so I just don't think it's worth necessarily spending a bunch of effort up here. I think it would be better to actually prioritize down here because my main stack is going to move down and clear all of this out. And we've got a lot of structures down here that we could have very, very easily attainable by the city. So I really like that idea. Death also reinforced what Nolan had said about terraforming being important. So again, I really think that's a good point. The next comment here is from Devin Larson. Devin also suggested getting a builder out quickly. And again, a builder would allow me to make forts, whereas the settler is going to allow me to make a city. So I think getting one of the two or maybe both out soon would be a really smart move. So definitely agree with you there, Devin. Another comment here from Frank Van Garderen. Frank pointed out that, similar to the other commenters, that a builder would be helpful. And also that getting my knowledge income going would also be really useful. So in the near future, trying to get the laboratory up and running just to really increase my rate of research. And one of the reasons for that is because I'm going to need to produce some of my class-based units like the Crusader, for example, but I have some research to do before I'm able to get there. So it would be great to improve my ability to get some research done. I'm hoping that I can clear out this set of scrolls here, scrolls of knowledge, and give myself kind of a quick boost there to my knowledge. The next comment here is from My Brain Hurts. Brain pointed out that Storehouse next would probably be a good choice. Also, and this is a really interesting thought, Brain is mentioning that one cherub should be able to beat 3 Lost Souls. I was worrying last episode about this necromantic circle here that's on this little kind of island that's just off of my main kind of peninsula here, and I'm not going to be able to get to it easily with my forces because, A, it's across the water, but more importantly, as I mentioned, we've got these rocky outcroppings that are going to prevent me from easily getting there. I'd have to go kind of all the way around, like go up this way and then loop down to get there, or send units that can fly or float or something, which I don't have very many of at the moment. But the good news is that if this does start creating a bunch of Lost Souls, I should be able to handle them reasonably well with some cherubs, and that's just due to the fact that cherubs have, if we look here, so they have pretty good spirit protection, and they should be able, they do a little bit of spirit damage as well. And if I put them in defense mode, again, Brain is suggesting that they should be able to hold out against 3 Lost Souls. So we'll see. I'd be a little nervous to try it, but I think maybe having 2 cherubs together would be sufficient to at least handle that. But we can definitely try it. I mean, if it comes up, we may end up getting attacked and not have a choice. So I appreciate Brain pointing that out. Assuages a bit of my worry. Brain also mentioned the need for, my class-based units like the Crusader in particular. So I'm definitely going to make sure I prioritize getting a hold of them reasonably soon here. There's also a comment from Insert Username. Insert mentioned that getting paid absolution would be a great way to improve my gold income. And that's going to basically allow me to kind of trade my mana income for gold income. And that's a really good way of thinking about it. If I have excess mana income, that would be a great way to kind of supplement my gold income, which may become a bit more of a limiting resource for me in the short term here. So big thank you to everybody for the fantastic comments. As always, I'm just blown away by the insight you guys provide. It's really quite fantastic. So we're going to jump right in, though, and get into episode 2 here. So as I mentioned, we have our main stack here, and we cleared out this mana node in the last episode. So my plan now is to send the main stack down and try to clear out the structures that we've got over here. So again, we've got a couple of gold mines. We've got the corrupted farm, which we might be able to turn back into, let me just check something. So I'm curious as to whether we'd be, I don't know if we're actually able to convert this back into a living farm. But if we're able to, I think there's a spell that might allow me to do that. I know there's the spell that does the opposite, where it can turn, if you're a necromancer, it can turn a living farm into a corrupted farm. I can't remember. I'm sure that there is a spell that does the opposite, but I can't remember offhand. But in any case, getting down here, clearing out all these gold mines and the node down here is going to be very, very useful for me. And then, like I said, I'd love to set up a city right here, actually. I think that would be a prime spot for it. So, yeah, let's do our production here. As I mentioned, I am going to go with the storehouse. And then the main stack is going to proceed down this direction. Now, I could leave one of my units behind to help guard the throne. Maybe one of the ranged units. Well, I guess I really only have the one, the Bowyer. So maybe not the ranged unit. And then I've got my cavalry, who's kind of been tagging along, but not as part of the stack. I'd probably like to get this cavalry into the stack. So you know what I'm going to do is I'm going to take maybe the hordeman, who's a little beat up, and move him off, get him into the city there, and then we can regroup here, and we'll just head straight down this direction with the main army. There we go. All right, so again, this gold mine's going to need to get cleared out. Some lizardmen opponents, and then yeah, that's going to do it for our turn. So we'll get some refugees next turn, which will help our throne city grow a little bit. Now, another thing I have to keep in mind is that, in the very near future, I'm sure my allies over here are going to come under attack. And so I definitely need to try my best to get over there to help them and to at least provide some protection. My only concern is just like, I don't know, like it's going to be, it's going to be tough to get all the way over there this quickly. But I need to make sure I make that a priority fairly soon. So what I'm thinking is maybe once my rogue is strong enough, like maybe once my rogue is at like level, 4 or 5, something like that, which shouldn't take all that long given that I've got all these battles about to happen. Then what I'll do is I'll probably send my rogue over there to try to help out. And the beauty of sending the rogue over is that the rogue will have charm. At level 5, I think I get access to charm if I remember correctly. And so I will hopefully be able to at least recruit the odd unit or two to kind of augment any losses or help me, not just be kind of a complete island over there by myself. And of course, my Theocrat gets Convert, which is a stronger ability, but... All right, so let's just see Icorian over here. Yeah, and Icorian really didn't make the best plays. He lost a few of his units pretty early. And so I'm kind of concerned about him. And again, being on Lord difficulty, these AI teammates are going to be quite the liability when it comes to... oh, and look at this. There's a settler already coming out for... this is for Farnor. Again, that's the Warlord teammate. So, yeah, but as I said, they're going to be a bit of a liability. So I need to make sure I protect them because that's, again, one of my mission objectives for this series. All right, let's get this cherub and grab those refugees. Nice. Extra 1,200 population. Now, let's see what that did to our growth rate here. Oh, heck yeah. Went from 10 down to, I guess it would have been 9. Now it's down to 5. So it really took off like 4 turns or so. That's pretty good. And then once I have that storehouse, that'll just continue to increase. All right, so now we're going to send this cherub into the Shadow Realm here. And let's see what we see. Okay. Excellent. Oh, you know what? That's not excellent. We've got a Magic Rift, and this is going to spawn some pretty nasty units that we're going to have to deal with. Look at that. Fire Elemental, and then lesser elementals of Blight and Air variety. Ugh, that's going to be kind of nasty to deal with, to be honest. We do have an Ancient Ruin there to explore. We're definitely going to need to get somebody in there eventually to clear this out, because what's going to happen is this is going to generate units that especially are like floating probably, and they're going to come out and then they're going to attack this city and take it from me. So yeah, geez, that's actually kind of an unfortunate development. But let's see what else we can find. Okay, you know what? Here, maybe we can go and make friends with... Yeah, let's see. Oh yes, they want open borders. Absolutely, open borders and a peace treaty. Let's do it. Okay, so they can become our vassal in 3 turns. Now we're just going to have enough gold to make all that happen, but that's great. We'll at least be able to try and get a foothold in the Shadow Realm. That was kind of the main objective there. Okay, now let's get our main stack together, and we can head over, and we'll probably start off with this gold mine, and we'll just work our way systematically through this area, and we might even head over and try for that Ancient Ruin. But I'm thinking we clear out most of these other structures first, or at least a few of them, just to get a bit stronger, because currently we're only level 2 with our heroes, so I think it would be good to get a little stronger first. We did have this little guy doing some scouting for us, as well as this High Elf Glade Runner that was scouting as well. Might be nice to get actually down here and see a little more of what's down along this road. Especially if I want to build a city here, I want to make sure that there aren't any cities in the immediate vicinity that are going to become a problem when it comes to, like, growing. So maybe we send... Actually, you know what? We could send this little guy down this way. Like that. Yeah, there. Oh, and look at that. As I just mentioned, there looks like the border of a city right there. So maybe we can make friends with them. Looks like it's probably far enough away that we could still make a city right here, though. So, but we'll see. Again, that's the important, there's a million reasons why scouting is important, but that's definitely one of them. Now, we could jump into the water with this guy. And you know what? That's not the worst idea. Let's maybe do that. And then we can go scout a bit here. And maybe figure out the easiest way to get over to the landmass where my allies are stationed. Oh, and you know what? Maybe I should have summoned the cherub to do that instead. Because, it's going to be less efficient in the boats, but that's all right. You know what we can do is we can summon the cherub like this. And then we can head down here. Yeah, there we go. Oh, that's great. Oh, and look at this. Okay, we've got another city right here. Let's see. Looks like an orc city, perhaps? Ooh, yeah, okay, they're hostile, so they don't they don't want anything to do with us. So now you know what? Okay, here's what we'll do. We'll take our main stack, we'll sweep through all of this, and then we'll loop over and go and capture the orc city by force. That's perfect. All right, in the meantime, enough of my yammering. Let's get to some fighting. Oh, and you know what? They're going to run. And since we want the good points, I mean, we do want the experience, but we want good points, so we're going to let them run. And there's some extra gold. That's always good. All right, let's try that again, shall we? All right, so we're up against a Draconian Enchanter who does frost damage. Thankfully, we are able to resist a lot of that. Wisp and Node Tribal. Okay, and this is a irregular with a pikeman characteristics, if I remember correctly. And I think can throw stones. Now, thankfully, we do have some healing capability with our Theocrat, which is really good for us. The Mammoth Rider could use a little bit of health. So, you know what? Let's just jump over and do that. There we go. Our Whaler can step up and try and immobilize this Tribal. It didn't work, but we did a lot of damage. Now, what about... Okay, this does 4 to 6. So if we only land 4... We're only doing 12 damage. I mean, we'd have to land perfect hits with the rest to actually get the kill. Now, what if we were to step up slightly? Oh, there we go. That's much better. Yeah. Perfect. There's the kill. That's definitely helpful. Now, our Bowyer can step up and actually blast this Wisp for some half-decent damage. Okay. And you know what? Then I think we're going to Devastating Charge the Wisp here like this with our Mammoth Rider. Now, we are going to take some punishment with the Mammoth Rider. Thankfully, Frost Bolts is going to be less effective given that we are 100% Frost Protection. So, really, not too concerned there. The Glazesman can just guard our hero. Yeah, so they had to go in and actually physically attack me with melee damage because they couldn't hurt me with the Frost. So... that actually worked out pretty well. All right, I'd love to get some experience with the hero, so let's step up, go in and get the flank shot. Nice, pretty big damage there, actually. And then I'd love to get some more experience with my hero as well. So we'll go like this. Very nice, and then we can get the kill with the Mammoth Rider. Perfect. Excellent. All right, and there we go. 82 extra knowledge. That's going to help us out. So now we've got 82 to spend, and you know what? We can actually pick a research choice right now. And you know what? Right off the hop, we could grab Produce Martyr, get that out of the way, and then that would give us access to produce Crusader next. So that would be great. Paid Absolution, again, I do want to get my hands on this. It is a little more expensive, but and take 3 turns. We could put some in. We take 3 turns. One thing we could do, I guess, is buy Produce Martyr and then grab Paid Absolution after. You know what? Let's wait to make that decision. We'll keep clearing things out and see if... I mean, the situation probably won't change, but we're going to keep clearing things just to kind of do our diligence here, if you will. All right, we'll attack this gold mine, guarded by some spiders and a kobold shooter. Shouldn't have too much trouble with this. We just have to watch out for the webbing ability of those spiders. Ouch, that crossbow kind of hurt. Thankfully, nothing we can't handle. So now let's heal up the Mammoth Rider once again. And then our hero can actually, again, do some pretty good damage. Soften him up a little bit. Very nice. And then, you know what? Let's see. We step up. Oh, that's great. Yeah, look at that. Perfect. There's the kill. And then we can move our Glavesman up like this. Mammoth Rider can sit like this. Our Bowyer can get in behind and try to help out. Now, I'm a little concerned about my Whaler getting attacked here. Okay, thankfully they're fine. All right, no real worries there. We actually handled that damage really well. We're going to step up. We're going to blast the Spider Baby. Nice, there's the kill and the level up. Now level 3, that's huge. And then we can do the same here with our Rogue. Nice, and there's level 3 for our Rogue as well. That's a big deal. Again, getting those heroes leveled up is really important for us at this stage. Okay, so let's do our Theocrat. Okay, so we've got a few options here. Touch of Faith is a really good upgrade. I quite like this one. It's also great to use to farm experience as well. So what I think I might do here is maybe Aura of Resistance and Touch of Faith. I think that's the combo here. So let's grab Aura of Resistance and Touch of Faith. So that allows me to really boost a unit with more resistance and some improved morale as well to increase the rate of getting criticals. There we go. Okay, perfect. And then our Rogue here, let's take a look. We have Dirty Half Dozen as an option. Stronger than Steel. Now, this is a good one. All the units gain armor piercing, which is really useful, especially if you're up against like dwarves or you know, heavily armored units, really. So I think we're gonna grab that upgrade. Quite like that one. And we will also grab Counter Poison, probably at the next level up. All right, and then yeah, we have basic Seafaring as we saw, so that's really good. And then we'll move back here, and we will engage this battle now with our Rogue. Oh, and they're gonna run as well. All right, let them run. A little more good points, no problem there. And then, yeah, let's, which way would be best? Probably go over here. We can clear this out, clear this out. Almost be worth going all the way up there, but I think that would just be kind of a waste of movement. So I think we clear out this Corrupted Farm, the Ancient Ruin, then we turn around and go back down to the mine. Kind of liking that. So we'll head over that way. Alright, so let's start casting ourselves another Cherub. Again, we are starting to run kind of low on mana, so once we are done the storehouse, we're then going to build a shrine. And then, yeah, we do have now our research choice to make. I think maybe what I'll do is I'll grab Produce Martyr. Now, this is going to take us 6 turns, which is a bit of a shame. We could get Produce Crusader in 5 turns, which would also be pretty good. But I think we'll go for Paid Absolution. Again, I'd really like to improve the gold income. That would be very helpful. And then we'll probably jump back to Produce Crusader. So let's grab Paid Absolution. Okay, now this little guy has one more movement. We'll just jump him out into the, excuse me, into the water, just to protect him a little bit. And then we'll end our turn there. Now, the thing I'm really nervous for is my opponent being encountered here. So as soon as, you know, my teammates, who unfortunately are closer to the front lines of battle most likely than I am, they're going to be the ones to run into my opponents first. So I'm very nervous. As soon as I can see my opponents, that's going to be my signal that I need to get over there ASAP. I mean, ideally, I'd be over there before they encounter my opponents. But we will see what happens here. Like I said, my eventual plan is to have my hero be in a position where he can, or excuse me, my rogue hero is going to be in a position where I can send my rogue over with a group. Okay, here we go. We've got an alliance proposal and a quest available. Let's hear about the quest. See, you know, this would be nice, but I can't easily get over there. What's the alliance proposal? Ah, I need to do the quest to get an alliance. Okay, you know what? I will accept it. And then what I'm going to have to do is make a squad of cherubs. I've already got, I mean, I've got two. I've got one in the Shadow Realm and one here. So then I can use my cherubs to try to, like, make that happen, I think. Oh, nice. Some treasure. Oh, that's incredible. Okay, and look, this necromantic circle's guarded, but we could definitely try and get over there eventually and clear it out. All right, we have a hero that's offering to join us. Another rogue. I think I'm going to request a different type of hero just because... Now, this hero does have Shadow Demon Slayer. Still vulnerable to Shadow Sickness, oddly enough, but Shadow Shift and Shadow Demon Slayer. Making this hero a little bit more suitable to maybe being in the Shadow Realm. But I actually really don't want another rogue. I already have one, so I'm going to require another type of hero. All right, Halls, we've finished our nice 3 turns till we grow. Let's do a shrine here. We're going to need that extra mana, especially since now we're summoning another cherub, and that's going to put us into the negative, so we definitely need another, or we need to improve our income. All right, back down here. So as I mentioned, we are working on having them become maybe our vassal. For now, though, I think this guy's done his job of at least encountering a city. So we're going to send him back. Okay, and there's the... Oh, shoot, there's 4 of them. Okay, well, we're going to make an army, that's for sure, of cherubs to deal with that. Try and beat that quest. Yeah, I suppose we could try and send somebody else up there, but I just don't know if that's going to happen. Okay, these are some Draconians. Open borders and peace treaty? Yes, absolutely. Let me know when you want to talk. Very good. Okay. Let's check out the road over here. Meanwhile, this guy's going to head out into the water here. Oh, and look at that. There's some gold right here. Let's grab it. Fantastic. Now, I don't know if we made it onto the right landmass, but that gold was too tempting to pass up, so. All right, now our main stack here. I think what we're going to do, like I said, is take on this group here guarding the corrupted farm. Then we'll head over and try and clear out the ancient ruins. So, let's do it. All right. Okay. So we want to bestow Iron Heart, and we might as well do it to our Mammoth Rider. Actually, you know what? Let's do our Touch of Faith instead, because that way if anybody takes damage, we can just heal them. And you know what? We will just advance with our Whaler here. And our Glavesman can advance. Our Bowyer as well. Let's see what happens here. Alright. So they're not going to move up, so we're going to have to entice them to come and face us. Now, this big beetle is a little scary because it is a tier 2 unit, but it does quite a bit of damage here, you can see. So I actually have to be kind of careful. Yeah, you know what? Maybe I don't want my Whaler out there getting into all kinds of trouble like that. Yeah, you know what? I'm going to keep them back. Let's get my Mammoth Rider out there to maybe deal with some of this, some of the heat from the attacks. And then we'll park my Theocrat in behind for extra healing. Alright, I think that should do it now. Hopefully that entices them to attack me. Yeah, there it is. Yikes. Man, we hit really hard with that critical. That was great. Okay. Yeah, the Mammoth Rider really didn't take much damage, actually. So let's kill the Lost Soldier. Perfect. And then we can step over like this. We can do some work, but maybe before we do that... Ooh. Actually, this thing can do a lot of damage to us. Alright, let's soften him up a little bit. Yeah, there's some. Alright, max damage here is Starting 5. Minimum is 5. Maximum is 8. Versus 6 to 8. So we're going to go with that. That's good. And then we can get in there and do flank shot. Perfect. Now that went quite well. Oh, and a nightmare. The only problem with the nightmare is that I believe it's dedicated to evil, and we're going to be good very shortly. So I'm actually going to sell this, even though the nightmare would be a decent tier 2 unit to have. Just because of the alignment issue, I'm gonna sell it. That's a little sad, but I think it makes sense. All right, now we'll head up there. Next turn, we'll clear that out. And then, like I said, we're going to turn around, swoop down, clear out some more of this, clear out this haunted boneyard, and then go straight for the city. Try to take control of that. And I think that's going to about do it for our turn here. So we're going to end it right there. And then my thought process is maybe once I have this shrine, maybe I do a laboratory and then a settler. Because by then I'll kind of have this sort of cleared out a little better. We'll see, though. I'm kind of hemming and hawing over exactly when to get the settler going. I suppose one argument to make is that, you know, if I get a builder out and up here, it's going to be a while before this city grows to encompass this. And I can always destroy the fort after, you know, it's outlived its usefulness. And, you know, it's 100 to build a fort. I'd be getting 20 per turn. Gold, that is. Not to mention some mana. So this would pay for itself in 5 turns, really, if you want to do the hard math on that. If I built a fort like right here, or right there kind of thing. It's always a challenge at the beginning when you just have the one city to build from, and you have to, you know, you have to be very selective in your build order because, you know, you want to do everything, but you can't. You have to kind of, you know, pick and choose, right? Okay, race governance upgrade for our crosslings here. Harpoon throwers get more health, or barracks give additional happiness. I think I'm going to go with the barracks give additional happiness, just because I'm really not going to be using harpoon throwers all that much. So we're going to go with the barracks improving our happiness. Oh, nice. A warlord. Altmar the Enchanted. Let's see what his talents are. He's got Enchanted Protection. Assigned unit has +1 resistance and randomly acquire a different source of magical protection. So I'm guessing as he goes into a battle, he'll randomly get protection from one of the elements, and then he'll randomly get assigned different magic damage. That's pretty cool. And he's armored, of course, and he's otherwise a fairly standard hero. Yeah, you know what? I'm definitely happy to take a warlord. Again, I was really hoping not to have a second rogue, just because I already have one. So, absolutely, I'll take a warlord. So, now the big question is, oh yeah, let's level up our warlord real quick. First thing, let's do defense command. That's just going to increase our defense in our stack. But yeah, so at this point now, I do need to kind of maybe think about building an army for one of my heroes, either the rogue or the warlord now. This cherub's going to head up to join his friend. As I said, we are going to try and clear this out. Maybe another option is we could even send our warlord up here to go into the Shadow Realm. I mean, like I said, the rogue wouldn't have actually been the worst thing to set into the Shadow Realm, but I don't know. I already have a rogue. I wanted a something else, so. All right, and this little guy, we're going to spawn right here, and we're going to send him over as well. All right, so now we've got 3 cherubs. We'll group these 2 up. And this one's the third one coming over to join the party. And then we're going to try and win this battle with our cherubs here. We could also summon maybe one more and then try it. We'll have to see. But in the meantime here, let's see if we can clear this out. So we've got an Ancient Ruin. Ooh, yikes. Okay, there's an Ice Troll. My goodness. That's a little scary. So it's kind of similar to a regular troll in that it has Regrowth, Guard Breaker. Now, this one has Frost Weapons, which actually benefits us a little bit in that we will take probably less damage from him. However, you can see he has Frost Protection, so it's, you know, he's got more protection from our attacks, but also maybe we have a little bit more protection from his attacks. So very cool, though. I like this Ice Troll. And then a Canyon Crawler and a Dusk Adder. And, of course, Mass Curse is going to be in effect, so we're going to be at a fairly substantial disadvantage in this fight. This is actually going to be a very tough one, given that this ice troll is a pretty tough customer, all things considered here. So, now one thing to note is that our Whaler does have Monster Slayer. Now that's going to come in handy in this fight, I think. Okay, so let's get our Mammoth Rider in there. We're going to do what we always do. Use one of our buffs right at the beginning here. Blavesman can advance. We're just going to move everybody up ever so gently. Now, spell-wise, Blind isn't really going to help us. Quick Dash is probably going to be something we use to get some additional attacks this battle, and also maybe to get some healing in. So we'll end it there. Now, they're not going to probably come out to fight us just yet. Yeah, we're going to have to go in there to entice them. So here's what I'm thinking. We step up like this to where they have to come through kind of one way to get at us here. You know what? My Glavesman perhaps can even kind of try and cut off one of the directions here. Like that. The Bowyer is going to step up to try to reinforce, as is the Whaler. And then my heroes can get right up in there and behind. I think we'll go like this. Okay. Yikes, this is a little scary, I'm not gonna lie. Oh my god. Oh, that was brutal. Okay, we took an absolute pounding there with my Glavesman. Now, thankfully, we did pretty good damage to the Ice Troll, and I think we'll be able to get the kill. I hope, anyway. Let's see. Alright. Oh, that's not doing a ton of damage. What about my Bowyer? Not bad. I mean, if we move up here, maybe we can get a little bit better damage. But then, of course, we've got the line of sight problem. Go right here. Yeah, that's pretty good. Okay, not bad, not bad. Now, we've still got line of sight issues there, so now if we go up, that's pretty good. Okay, that's alright. And then, you know what? We should hopefully be able to maybe get the kill. Oh, that's actually not doing as much as I was hoping it was going to do. Oh, man. Yikes. What if we go like this? Oh, there we go. That's much better. Okay, there's the kill. Now, our Glavesman is still in really bad shape here. Shoot. And I actually... Oh, you know what? Okay, here's a great idea. Now we can do this. So we'll throw that on. And that at least allows them to kind of get out of dodge and get in defense mode. There. See, that came in handy, that quick dash. I'm really, really glad that I had that. And you know what? We'll park our Mammoth Rider there in defense mode and just try to soak up the hits and hopefully survive. Oh, the Bowyer getting beat up. Okay, nice. Dusk Adder's dead. Alright, now let's see. We could use our hero to maybe get some healing going. And actually, I don't hate that idea. I think that's pretty smart. So we'll go like that. I really like this one, so let's try and immobilize, get the flank. Nice, we got the immobilize. And then, you know what? We can step our Bowyer off. Move our hero up. Actually, really good damage here. Let's try it. Step up. Oh, you know, I shouldn't have moved up closer. I was already not flanking. That was my mistake. And then we can just get the kill with the Bowyer here, I guess. Or try to. We may actually not. Oh, are you kidding? Did I just kind of... Oh, man. That's annoying. Alright, well, we'll try and get the kill here. Nice, okay, we did. Yeah, I should have just gotten the kill with the hero. That was a bit of an oopsie. But thankfully, we made it through that without any real issues. Everybody's still healthy, and no real ill effects there. Nice, Frost Protection. This is going to get us up to, I think, 100% Frost Protection. Some extra knowledge is always good, so I will happily take that. Let's take a look. So, yeah, we currently have 60%, and with this extra 40%, that brings it up to, or, well, the extra 60%, that'll bring us well over 100, so that's great. Now we're completely immune to frost damage. So that's a big deal. All right, we're going to move back down. And like I said, we're going to head for this gold mine next. Now, this little guy, I mean, I suppose we could head over that way. Maybe what we'll do, though, is we'll use the Glade Runner here. We'll grab the haste berries, and then we'll just head down to the road and kind of just cruise, see what we can find. Okay, and then this little guy, maybe we send him kind of down this way. And I'm just kind of trying to, you know, look around, see what I can find. All right, so, Warlord now. What to do? What to do with the Warlord? Again, I am pretty tempted to... send him up here. The only thing is, he's basically going to be going alone, which is not really that helpful. I also need to keep some units back here to guard the throne, especially since there are almost certainly going to be some lost souls that will come out of there. And it is dangerous sending him by himself, actually, especially with potential lost souls coming. Let's just check out his spells, too. Oh, nice. He has Last Stand and Lion's Courage. That's excellent. Very, very good. So, yeah, I'm very happy to have the Warlord, actually. Well, you know... So, we are able to start making martyrs, for what that's worth. Could make one or two of them just to have for some extra units for this guy. Now, I'm kind of torn on this one, actually. I'm really not 100% sure where to send him. Because, again, my problem is that if I send him up this way, he's kind of on his own. He's not going to get reinforced. I'm not going to have any other units able to really, like, join him. So sending him up there kind of on his own is really kind of pointless in a lot of ways. I mean, he can join with those cherubs, I guess, but that's not really a functional army per se. So maybe he just hangs around for another turn or two, and then we build him a couple of units or something. But again, my plan is to also get a settler going. I don't know. This is actually kind of a tricky thing. Well, okay, you know what? If I keep him with the heroes, he can gain a bit of experience kind of hanging out with them. You know what? Let's do that. We'll keep him with the heroes. We can get him some experience. He'll clear a few things out. Then we'll turn him around, give him some extra units, and send him on his way. All right, there we go. We kind of talked our way through it, logicked our way through it a little bit. Okay, so let's check out our allies. Yeah, and they're continuing to lose units in kind of nothing battles, which is really not what you want to see. Oh, nice. They teamed up and attacked together. That's kind of cool. Hey, at least they're... Whether that was on purpose or accidental, I mean, it's nice to see at least. Okay, we're going to end the turn right here. As I said, though, man, I need to get over there, and I'm constantly aware of the fact that my teammates are just sitting ducks. The ideal setup would actually be for me to get a city over here. And that's why, I was hoping to get this vassal over here. And my teammate ended up just capturing the city by force. But I figured if I could get a vassal and then eventually convert it over into a full-fledged city, I could have maybe used it to, like, build units and start an army over here to protect my allies. In the meantime, though, like I said, I'm just going to have to try and get over there quickly. At least now I know a little bit of the water over here. We'll keep following this road and see where it goes. Nice. Okay, alliance proposal. Excellent. All right. 187 gold. That's nothing. We can afford that. And I think it's totally worth it to have a vassal in the Shadow Realm. So that takes care of that. At least now we have a bit of a foothold in the Shadow Realm. That's super important for us. Again, the problem is going to be this damn spawning structure. That's really going to create problems for us. All right, now here's the big question. Do we want to try this battle with our 3 units, or do we want to wait? Honestly, I'm a little scared. Kobolds are going to be a problem. And there's too many of them, honestly. Like, I think I might need one more unit. I mean, I guess we could try and send the tiger up to, like, go join in or something. But by the time it gets there, it's 2 turns. I mean, Although, you know, by the time I summon this thing next turn and then move it over, it's going to be 2 turns as well. So you know what? Maybe we'll send the tiger up. But, you know, then I'm leaving the city with only 1 guard. You know, again, decisions. Let's take a look at the cherubs again. Yeah, I mean, they have very low health. They got decent resistance, not super great defense. I don't know. I don't think I can win that battle with just my 3 cherubs. Maybe if I had a 4th cherub, I could. We're going to risk it. We're going to send the tiger up this way to try to help. And I may end up regretting this. I guess we'll see. Alright, at least we can group up, though. In the meantime, maybe we could do a bit of scouting while we're waiting. Just a little bit of the extra area up here. Okay. So, yeah, our mana income is now way better. That's good. Part of that is the vassals, and part of it is that we now have a shrine. Yeah, you know, I wouldn't mind maybe a martyr or 2. And then I think what we'll do, let's make a martyr, and then maybe we'll make a settler. So make a martyr. I just want to have another unit to add in with the warlord, to be honest. All right, now this stack, as I mentioned, we can head on down and just keep the good times rolling here. Warlord can move down as well. We're going to engage this battle. Should be fairly straightforward. I do have a high elf protector. Oh, I like the look of these guys. Very cool. They have defender and they also have immortal discipline. Oh wow, so they're really good against irregulars. That's kind of cool. And they have a shield and they're armored. Now thankfully, oh, you know what though? Our rogue isn't leading the army. I was going to say if our rogue was leading the army, then all our units would have armor piercing. But because our rogue isn't leading the army, they don't. Our Theocrat is leading the army, which is fine. It's just we don't get that benefit. That's all. All right, Mammoth Rider's going up. We're going to Touch of Faith. We're going to advance in a little bit. Ooh, I might have gotten too aggressive there. No, I'm fine. Okay, we'll move up with the Glavesman, move up with the Bowyer, and then the Rogue can hang out behind the Mammoth Rider to reinforce. Alright, so we're going to have to probably entice them out to face us. Now, this Hearthguard is a fairly standard pikeman with a shield. So we're going to have to be very careful there, especially since we're going to be probably using our Mammoth Rider as our bait here to get them to come out to us. So maybe like that, and then they can't actually get there. I think that's probably the smartest move. And then the rest of our units can just kind of advance, again, as support. Oh, and you know what? I'm completely forgetting about my Warlord hero. Of course. Say, oh yeah, I'm going to bring him to help him get experience, and then I just completely neglect him. Figures. Oh, nice. Look at that. Nice. Big flank damage there. And then we can get the kill with our Theocrat. Perfect. We can go for the immobilization, actually, over here. We can get a flank shot, so let's try that. Nice. And then get the kill with the Bowyer. Glazeman can step up and get the flank shot there. And then with our Rogue, should be able to get the kill here, I think. Perfect. Yeah, so I say like, oh yeah, I'm going to bring my Warlord along, and then I completely forget about him for 2 turns. That's okay, though. Thankfully, he was able to make a difference in the end. All right, so we'll step over, clear this out, use our Rogue to do so. Yeah, a couple of elementals and a Reed Serpent. A baby Reed Serpent, that is. Thankfully. Okay, these are Frost Elementals, which really we don't have to be as concerned about, given our protection against frost damage, being Frostlings. Yeah, let's buff our Mammoth Rider here with a heal. Again, I really like using the Mammoth Rider kind of as the bait. Does a good job there. And the Glazeman's also pretty good for kind of using. Our Warlord might as well just put some work in. Not as concerned about the Warlord. I'm going to move over with the Rogue just to provide some support, though. And the Whaler, I guess, can just kind of hang out. Ouch. Oh, that sucks. Frozen. So my Whaler is now frozen solid, which means they're basically out of commission. Let's see, what kind of damage can we do here? Not bad. What about if we melee? Pretty good. They do have physical weakness, which is helpful. Baby Reed Serpent definitely needs to die. I think we'll go like this. Flank them there. And then use the Mammoth Rider just to obliterate them like that. And then the Bowyer. Between everybody here, I think we can probably get the kill. So let's advance like this. Blast. Oh yeah, that's great. And then we can just get the finish here. Easy. Perfect. Alright, now our Warlord is kind of 1v1ing this Frost Elemental. Thankfully, I sent the Rogue over to at least help a little bit. So we'll head over like that. Turn him with a flank shot. And then we should be able to just attack and do some hefty damage here. And there's the kill. So we took a little bit of punishment with the Warlord, but nothing we can't recover from. And we did get him some more experience there. You can see he's at 80 out of 100, so he's getting closer to level 3. Alright, oh nice, and we got to level up for Falsor here. Again, at this point, I mean, Chaplain is kind of nice to have, but... Now, let me just check. I'm trying to remember. What do we get at level 5? This is where Tome of Wonders is going to come in handy here. So let's see. With our Theocrat, when we hit level 5, what do we get? Mighty Meek. Target friendly. Okay, that's just a spell. Purifying Burst. Monster Slayer. Divine Channeling. Break Control. And then what is it? Level 7 is when we get Convert and Healing. So level 5, there's really nothing too fantastic that I'm excited about. Break Control isn't bad, I guess. Otherwise, though, and again, with our leader, we're not going to get the spells. We're not going to get access to them that way. So really, it'd just be Monster Slayer and Break Control. So I think we will actually pick up... Chaplain. Yeah, that's pretty nice. Okay, so that just improves the morale of our stack here a little bit. Better odds of getting criticals and whatnot, which is really never a bad thing. Okay, that's going to about do it for our stack there, I think. You know what? This little guy, I think maybe it's time for him to come on back. Let's send him back. These dwarves here. One turn and they'll entertain becoming my vassal, perhaps. Alright, and this guy, we can just keep following the road. Nice, there's some more haste berries. And continue our adventure. I did see some mana crystals, which admittedly would be useful, but I'm a little more interested in... Okay, so here's a pathway to connect to my allies, potentially. Boy, the Warlord is really aggressively capturing these little towns. Not that that's a bad thing or anything, but... he's already got a second one now. Okay, like I said, I think my heroes are going to be just fine where they are, so... And then that looks like it's going to be good for our turn. As I mentioned, I'm going to wait for the Tiger to help out, and then I should hopefully be able to win this battle. It'll be pretty tricky, I think. And now... we might as well, I guess, clear out the Magma Forge, which is going to be very dangerous because there's a lot of fire damage coming our way. And we're going to be in terrain we really don't like. So, it could be a little bit problematic. And then we'll head over, clear this out. Oh, and look, I didn't notice this, but there's this stinking rocky outcropping here that's going to maybe make this very hard for me to get over there. Well, shoot. Oh, now that's annoying. Well, we'll have to see. Maybe there's a way down south here. Maybe as this guy comes back, we can send him to the left here, and he can do a bit of scouting. Nice. City grew a little bit. We've got an alliance proposal down here. 155. Absolutely. Let's take that. Very nice. Yeah, our main city, our throne city, has grown into a town, which is excellent. Okay. We did finish a martyr in our throne, which is fine for now. We'll just have him hang out there for a little bit. Okay. Let's send this guy, like I said, over this way, just to maybe get some eyes on what's going on down south here. Because maybe there's a way for us to loop down and around. I sure hope so. Because otherwise, this is really not easy for us to get to. Alright, Summon Cherub is ready. I think in this case, you know, let's see if we summon it here. Alright, we'll do it. We'll try to help out. There it is. So I think this may be overkill at this point, but yeah, and the tiger's actually not going to be of use. But we'll have the other cherub at least, so. Because by the time the tiger embarks and gets over there, it's going to be another 2 turns. So I think we'll probably just try the battle with what we have. And, you know, if there's 1 unit left, maybe we can use the... Like, let's say our cherubs all die, which would be really unfortunate. Maybe the tiger can get the cleanup kill. Because, let's see, we've got... Oh, whoops, that's the wrong menu. I wanted to see our quests here. Still got 7 turns left, so we're fine on time for that quest, I mean. Okay, production. Yeah, I think it's time here. I mean, the city did just grow, so if we do make the settler, that is gonna shrink our town here. See, like, look at that, yeah. So maybe we wait. Maybe we produce something else just for a turn or 2 so that we don't... You know what? This is a great time to make the laboratory. So let's do the lab. And then after that, we can do the settler. Nice, and here's some gold for us. Kind of stealing that from my teammate here, but that's fine. Looks like he's on his way to try and make a new city, so... Alright, So yeah, we're not going to shrink the village just yet. We're going to let it grow for another turn or 2. And then we will do our settler, and we'll throw up a city right here in this spot where pretty much where my heroes are, kind of thing. Alright, now, let's get to some more battling here, because we've got a lot more we can clear. We will head down like this. You know, our warlord might be time to start sending him back fairly soon. Again, I don't want to, like, keep him down here forever, but... I actually kind of like having him here, just to, like I said, continue trying to level him up a little bit. Alright, let's engage this battle. Like I said, this one's actually going to be fairly difficult, given that there's quite a lot of fire damage. Now, the good news is, we can really buff our resistance, which is going to help tremendously. So, we can Touch of Faith our Mammoth Rider. We can also, if we really want... I mean, again, we don't have a ton of mana, but we could use Last Stand on our Mammoth Rider as well, if we were so inclined. So let's charge up there. Let's just see what kind of happens for the first turn here. Kind of interested to see. My guess is they're going to make us come to them, as always, but... Alright, let's step up here. Oh no, okay, they're gonna step out and start trying to hit us. That's fine. Alright, we're gonna step up and we're gonna bestow Iron Heart on the Mammoth Rider. And then, oh, look at this, our Warlord can get in there and deliver an absolutely nasty blow there. Holy cow. It's brutal. Yeah, and if we go in there, we will take some pretty pretty hefty damage. That said, I mean, it's probably worth... Yeah, what we'll do is we'll get our hero in like this. I mean, this is a bit risky. There's the kill there. That at least takes care of that. Alright, and then our Glavesman, unfortunately, is not going to be of much assistance. And our Bowyer, unfortunately, the same story here. Can do a little bit of damage to the Hellhound, I guess. Falsor's done his thing. So one thing we could do here is step up and then blast for at least a little bit of damage. Our Whaler. Oh, I should have moved the Whaler up more. Alright, my plan here is to just camp out. Oh, Immolating Touch on that Salamander, yikes. My plan is to do this and just hang out in defense mode. I hope this doesn't horrendously backfire on me. Alright, that's fine. Oh yeah, no problem. So again, with all the extra buffs there, you know, 13 resistance. Now, you know, when I was in defense mode, it was even higher. So all those buffs really made a big difference there. That was very helpful. Alright, so now the Warlord can whoop in here and eliminate the Hellhound. Boy, he hits really hard. Then, yeah, I'd like to get some more experience with Falsor. Let's see, what about there? That's not bad. Okay. And then we can get the kill with our Rogue. Perfect, and there's a nice level up for our Rogue as well. I think that's probably a good place to call it an episode here. What we'll do... Nice, that gold income, we definitely need that. We're spending it quite a bit on getting our vassals and everything else, so it's nice to have that gold coming in via our battling. So now we can level up our Rogue, and we are going to grab this counter poison to at least increase our... You know, sprint isn't a bad one, actually, to give. But I'm going to hang off on that for now. Yeah, it's nice getting the Rogue up to level 4. So yeah, we're in really good shape here. Again, we can continue clearing structures. Really, the big question is going to be, you know, can we even get to this Orc City? Because if we can't, or can't easily, that is, we may have to rethink what we're going to do with our units down here. I mean, again, there's still lots of good structures to clear out. Probably not strong enough for the Sphinx Temple just yet, or this dungeon, but we can definitely make a try at this boneyard here, Haunted Boneyard. So, and again, getting some experience with our Warlord is helpful. I am going to send him back up eventually and have him have his own little army. And as I mentioned here, we are going to have these cherubs go after and try out that quest. So, all in all, pretty happy with how that episode went. Just zoom out here. So yeah, we've got ourselves a vassal here. Hopefully going to have a vassal here once we complete the quest. And then in the Shadow Realm, we have ourselves a vassal as well. So definitely nice to have. We're going to save this one. We're going to call this one episode 2. As always, guys, thank you very much for watching. I really do appreciate it, and I will see you in the next one.